Have you ever gone to a restaurant and there's a large menu with a lot of things to pick from, but you don't know what to choose, so you just ask the waiter to pick for you? So the waiter comes out with pretty much everything. The sandwiches, the desserts, the main meals, hell, they even gave you some breakfast despite it being 5 p.m. Just a whole lot of things that you weren't really asking for. You just wanted one meal, but now here you have like 20 unwanted dishes. Not the best analogy, but yeah, that's how it feels to play Fortnite in 2026. Okay, so ever since the Big Bang event, which everyone thought was going to tie off the story, but instead was Fortnite announcing that they're pregnant with triplets, we just have not stopped getting modes. And some of these modes don't even get to live a full life. This all started in December 2017 with Donald Mustard. Yes, if you didn't hear that correctly, Donald Mustard and a couple other epic higher-ups coming up with this big, grand-scale idea for Fortnite to become a metaverse. And again, I need to emphasize, Donald Mustard. So don't come into my comments with, oh, this game wasn't like this with Donald Mustard. Donald Mustard wouldn't have let this happen. Donald Mustard wasn't just letting this happen, he was guiding it like it was the fucking Galactic Empire, with Tim Sweeney as Palpatine and Donald as good old Vader. So yes, little commenter who has no idea how game development actually works, your favorite Fortnite man is at least partly to blame for the game currently being this way. And also, he wasn't really a good writer to begin with, but that's a topic for another time. So let's take a look at some of the modes that have come out since the release of the Big Bang. Starting with... You know, I'm shocked this is for free and doesn't require selling an arm just to play it. So yeah, undoubtedly this is the biggest mode out of the 3 Big Bang modes we got. A full-time collaboration with arguably the biggest toy brand in the world, with 3 whole new... Oh, nope, never mind, one of them's dead. With 2 whole new modes currently in the game. LEGO Fortnite Odyssey and LEGO Fortnite Brick Life. And honestly, it's just kind of a worse LEGO Worlds with more of Minecraft's DNA mixed in. Now, in all fairness, when it comes to the Minecraft side, there are things that I think LEGO Fortnite does genuinely better than Minecraft, and before you throw a chair at me, just give me a sec, I promise this goes well. One of my bigger issues with Minecraft is how the sandbox part of it within survival feels like it really lacks a purpose. Yeah, I can build this stuff, but I don't really feel inclined to, when I can just go into creative and remove any and all effort required. With LEGO Fortnite, they kind of fixed this by granting you rewards if you set up a village and do stuff within it. Like more characters showing up that will inhabit your area, which you can assign to jobs in order to automate things a little more so you can focus on something else. It's actually a really good concept and a genuine evolution of the sandbox survival genre. And compared to Minecraft, LEGO Fortnite actually gets a ton of consistent updates because of the seasonal structure. Like, as I'm writing this, there's currently an Ninjago season going on, which is awesome. But as a LEGO game, I mean, okay, you have LEGO characters, obviously, although not as much as there are Fortnite characters, and some very small bits of that classic LEGO humor sprinkled in. But I wish the world was LEGO. I guess they kind of wanted to keep that Fortnite identity in. But I mean, you already got that with the characters, and the game literally exists through Fortnite, so why not just go all the way and have the world be completely LEGO? Make it feel like I'm playing a LEGO version of Fortnite. It also just doesn't really have the charm that Minecraft or even LEGO or Fortnite themselves have due to that clash of identity. Minecraft is such a gaming giant with things like mods, servers, and just so much more that it's difficult for LEGO Fortnite to really compete with that. Especially with how accessible Minecraft is, being on basically everything ever, even if a lot of those versions aren't up to date. They're still Minecraft, and they run well. Meanwhile, Fortnite has been struggling to run on Switch 1 for years due to poor optimization on Epic's end. But that's not the only LEGO mode we've gotten. Man, are the other 2 even worth talking about? Okay, well, there's LEGO Expeditions, which is dead. Not in a player count way, but it's straight up not playable anymore because it's just that bad from what I've heard. I never got a chance to play it myself, but yeah, like I said, from what I've heard it was pretty bad. Buggy and just stupidly content light with little to actually do in it, which probably explains why it got shut down and merged with Odyssey. Now, I did play LEGO Brick Life for the Simpsons event. I wish I didn't, because that mode is just so fucking boring. It's the same repetitive tasks over and over again with damn near nothing else to do in it that is actually fun. It's just a hangout mode similar to Party Royale or Jam Stage, and for some reason Epic has just never really been good at making these. So yeah, overall, LEGO Fortnite is okay. It's nothing crazy, but it's also nothing very good either. If you put a loaded gun to my head and told me play Rocket Racing or die, I'd ask you to pull the trigger. Look, I'm sorry to the 3 Rocket Racing fans I just offended, but Rocket Racing is genuinely embarrassing. I'd like to say I've played my fair share of racing games, Forza, Mario Kart, the Sonic Racing titles, hell, I even played a bit of LEGO 2K Drive. For some reason. And out of everything I've played, Rocket Racing is by far one of the worst. Not to mention that the launch was stupidly buggy, with just the stupidest shit happening that ruined the experience, the horrible ranked grind, etc. Not to mention that Epic themselves has basically given up on the mode, and this will become a recurring theme, and now relies on the very dwindling community to do anything of purpose with it. But the gameplay itself is just not very fun, it feels stupidly generic, shortcuts don't feel very exciting, and honestly, the game just lacks any sense of identity. All of the barriers and gameplay mechanics incorporated into the tracks don't look like they fit in at all, and the tracks themselves feel really fan-made. I don't honestly know what it is about them, but I just don't like how any of them look. I ended up giving up any sense of hope on this mode early on, because while I do think it has potential, it's clear Epic isn't going to tap into that at all, and neither is Psyonix. Both companies have pretty much abandoned this mode in every sense of the word, which sucks because a Fortnite racing game could really do well. And then we have the last of the Big Bang modes, Fortnite Festival. Oh my god, man. Fortnite Festival is a tough one. I stand to argue it started off as probably the most high quality of the 3 we got. Constant weekly songs, great festival icons, and it's just overall a pretty good rhythm game, even if it was missing a few features when it first released. While the gameplay has remained primarily untouched from its initial launch, everything surrounding the gameplay has taken quite the hit. For example, the weekly songs. I won't be the first, and I also certainly won't be the last to tell you that Festival's weekly track releases have not been very good for the last year or so. While we've obviously had a couple good weeks, most weeks have been subpar, and the main theorized reason that I've seen for this is one that I don't like, not because it's not true or a bad theory, but because I don't think it's a good reason for the major dip in content quality. Essentially, Pro Vocals. We know Harmonix has been working on Pro Vocals for quite a while now, and it's been getting close to release, with only a few more songs left to add. My issue with this is that if simply adding Pro Vocals is enough to tank updates entirely, then clearly the team needs more people working on this, or they simply don't care enough, which I don't really want to believe. This is also tacked in with one of Festival's newest features, FOMO! Prior to March 2025, the way Festival songs worked is that all of them were in the shop at once. Only a few would show up in the actual tab with a button for you to see the full list of jam tracks. This was fine, there was nothing wrong with it, and it meant you never had to worry about getting something in time, or else, oh no, it's gone. Now you have to wait potentially months for it to appear again. And then in March, Festival fucking removed it. And now only a limited selection of songs will appear in each item shop, with you only having a few days each to obtain them before they're thrown back in the queue. Once again, when you combine that with the new songs being released, mostly being stupid meme TikTok audio that no one was really asking for, yeah, Festival has not had a good second year. And they don't think so either, because they didn't do anything to celebrate their second anniversary. No platinum icon skins, no whole songs being free for a weekend, nothing. The most they did was the Spotlight setlist, which, who really cares? So yeah, out of the 3 Big Bang modes, only LEGO has really got it good right now. And that's good in quotes, by the way, just to be clear. I know you can't see it, but like, it's good in quotes. But there's more than that, because ever since these modes were released, Epic has been continuously adding more and more. So after Big Bang, what else did we get? Well, Reload was introduced in June 2024, and Reload is one of the more higher quality modes, and definitely one of the more supported, both by Epic and the community. Probably because Epic went back to their roots with this and made it a battle royale game. Essentially, it's a smaller island with 40 players per match, and with the exception of solos, which only has 2 lives, infinite lives as long as at least one member of your team is alive, until the endgame starts and reboots the table. This is a fun to play and really enjoyable gameplay loop. Is it just kind of a knockoff of COD's Resurgence mode? Sure, but who cares? These games steal from each other all the time. The mode has constantly rotating maps so it never gets stale, and is updated almost just as often as regular BRs, so it's not difficult to see why Reload has garnered such high success. Then, after Reload, Fortnite x Fall Guys, and to this day I don't think I've seen a single person actually make a Fall Guys map within Fortnite. Now, the reason I bring Fall Guys up, even despite not technically being the same as these modes, is because it is the same now, and it's kind of the reason I'm making this video at all. Recently, Fortnite announced a Fall Guys mode called Crown Jam, which is essentially a Fall Guys take on basketball. And from what we've seen of it, because this mode isn't out yet while I'm writing this, it does look cool. It has a really fun visual style with a very unique UI for Fortnite that you haven't really done before. It looks great. It's only available for 2 weeks and it was in development for over a year. Now, hold on. Blitz, which I'll discuss in a bit, was also only meant to be a limited time mode. So maybe if this mode does well, it will also, let's be honest, it probably won't. Fall Guys X Fortnite has not done well at all. There's a reason Epic barely promotes it, and that's especially been shown with this new mode, which has received the most dog shit marketing of all time. Not to mention, players just don't care. It doesn't help at all. In fact, it makes it worse that Fortnite has done nothing but ruin Fall Guys as a standalone game, with them basically dropping an update that makes it so they wouldn't have to support the game for months on end. I'm not exaggerating when I say it has been a complete disaster, and if this mode flops, yeah, Epic's sealing Fall Guys away like it's Satoru Gojo. After Fall Guys dropped though, we got a couple other modes. After the overwhelming success of Season OG, Epic decided, yeah, this makes us tons of money, let's bring it back. And a year later, they did exactly that, and OG, oh, man, oh no, oh no, oh no. Yeah, so it turns out profiting off of nostalgia doesn't exactly work too well when your mode isn't very good. Fortnite OG is fine, it's not horrible, but it is buggy, unpolished, and it is honestly just worse as an experience than the original seasons. To a point, Epic barely markets OG. Their first mention of OG Season 6 in any form of marketing was them apologizing for how bad the launch was, and that they were going to be working on fixing it. I do respect that they're actually trying to make an original story. Unfortunately, that original story is sloppy and inconsistent. Oh, the cube is red now. Well, no, it's actually back to purple, but now it's in the in-between, in the butterfly event randomly. None of this is ever really elaborated on. It's like they're doing their best to replicate Donald's Chapter 1 writing style of prioritizing show don't tell, but the way they're going about it is so messy and just frustrating to watch. And like I said earlier, the game is buggy, still buggy. In fact, it gets worse with every season, and it doesn't help that Epic chooses to complicate the simplest fucking actions. There was an issue people brought up with Season 7, where the skybox wasn't accurate to the skybox used in the original season. Did Epic A, change the skybox to be accurate, or B, leave it alone? If you answered C, made the accurate skybox locked to the snow biome and not the entire map, so every time you leave and enter the snow biome, there's this really harsh transition where you can see the skybox very blatantly swapping, you're correct! This isn't to factor in the multiple inconsistencies with the actual season's loot pool, the stupidest bugs you've ever seen happening, like bush hordes, and just so much more. Man, screw this, I'm moving on. Okay, Ballistic. This was released very shortly after OG, and this is particularly notable because this mode was admitted by Epic themselves to be unfinished. Ballistic released in an early access state, so immediately on launch, it was missing a ton of content, and servers didn't work. This killed Ballistic in basically an instant, and what's worse is they're still barely touching it. Its last genuine update was in 37.10. We're currently on 39.0, so that's not too bad until you realize 37.10 was in August of 2025. We're now at the end of January in 2026, over a year since the mode was released, and 3 out of the 5 maps are still unfinished and missing textures. Why would you release this mode if it was this blatantly unfinished and very clearly not ready for release? And okay, yeah, you could argue, oh, to get player feedback, but clearly they didn't care if they've already abandoned the mode. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing, Epic? Why do you want player feedback and then you haven't updated the fucking mode properly in months? Where are you? Epic, where are you, man? Then, a year after Reload released, Epic announced Blitz, a fast-paced, mobile-focused mode, which was initially meant to last until July 15th, before being pushed back to August, before finally being made a permanent mode. Now, in all honesty, I have not played too much of Blitz, but similar to Reload, it's a very BR-focused mode, taking in the BR genre and doing something more unique with it in order to create a very fast-paced gameplay style. Similar to Reload, it has multiple maps, and it's updated constantly, with mostly weekly updates. Although they have missed a few here and there, they've been fairly consistent. I don't really have much to say on this mode because, again, I haven't really touched it, but considering how successful it's been, I think it's fair to say this is one of the few modes the community is really engaged with. Now, we're almost up to date with Epic's weird mode releases, but I haven't really been truthful. Primarily because I've been trying to stick to the metaverse route that Epic has decided to go down, but there's one mode that released before any of this occurred that is patient zero of Epic's commitment issues. Fortnite Save the World. I've spoken about Save the World a couple times on my channel before. I made an entire video on how much I think Epic truly wasted its potential, turning what had a great cast of characters and a charming identity into a husk of its former self, even despite being the reason Fortnite exists today. The way Epic has treated Save the World has been legitimately frustrating as someone who thinks it's a fairly high quality mode. Again, it's the reason the game even exists, yet Epic can't treat it with the respect it legitimately should have gotten. Sure, I get some quality of life changes every few months, especially recently, but the things that actually matter aren't being done. Like, for example, when Epic basically announced Save the World's end of support, they said that the story was done when it very obviously wasn't. Twine Peaks didn't and still doesn't have a proper story to it. The story ends in Candy Valley on a big cliffhanger. And why does Epic have such a rampant history of doing this to nearly every mode they add? Well, it's simple. Money. To be more precise, let's quickly summarize how each mode I talk about is doing. LEGO is doing pretty well, it's got constant updates and even 2 spin-off modes. Although one of them isn't around anymore, it's by far the most successful of the Big Bang trio, although it isn't anywhere near on par player count-wise with any of the VR adjacent modes. Festival and Rocket Racing are both in their worst states ever, with Rocket Racing basically being dead. Epic just hasn't pulled the plug yet. Reload's doing great. Fall Guys' future is yet to be seen, but it's not looking good. OG, although quality-wise isn't very good, is doing really well in terms of player counts. Ballistic is basically dead, failing to even top Festival in terms of players now. And finally, with Blitz, yeah, it's doing great. Do you notice something? Outside of LEGO, which is likely due to their partnership with the toy brand, where even if it doesn't do crazy well player-wise, they are still making tons for marketing and merchandise. All of the modes they are consistently supporting due to how well they're received are all Battle Royale adjacent modes, either being a legitimate BR like OG or being a unique spin on the concept like Reload and Blitz. Yes, OG's quality isn't on par with the others, but it still does incredibly well, which is why it keeps getting new seasons and even its own pass. The other modes don't do badly, but they aren't anywhere near the player counts the BR modes are on. So Epic stops caring. As much as they don't really want to admit it, and probably won't ever admit it, the player count is here for one thing, and it's not LEGO bricks, music, or race cars, it's Battle Royale. And as long as Epic doesn't realize this, they will continue to pour resources into unwanted modes that are slowly but surely guaranteed to be abandoned. Even despite their insane potential, there is a market for these types of content, and unfortunately, Fortnite isn't that market. Hell, I would argue these games would do significantly better if instead of being released within Fortnite, they were their own separate games. This would especially benefit games like Rocket Racing or Festival, their own unique experiences being made in collaboration with Epic and Harmonix and Psyonix as well, instead of just being fun modes to add to Fortnite, because it's clear that Fortnite is greatly limiting them. Maybe though, maybe Fortnite could have been that market. Maybe in an alternate universe, Epic released these modes way earlier and Fortnite became a metaverse platform. But that window has come and gone and they've missed their shot to do it. This is just a rant I wanted to get out. Video on Unbeatable coming soon. I've been trying my best to get that script done. It's getting really long though, so hopefully it should be soon, but who knows. Hopefully Epic gets their shit together, but again, we never know at this point. It's Epic Games. I mean, what the hell, man. If you like this, subscribe, like, whatever it be. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.